In the silence before dawn on June 12, 2025, Israeli fighter jets pierced through enemy airspace like angels of judgment. Their target, the nuclear heart of ancient Persia. Within hours, the world would witness something that had been written in sacred scrolls 26 centuries before any of us drew breath. The prophet Ezekiel saw this day. He saw the fire, he saw the nations rise, he saw Persia, modern Iran, leading a coalition that would shake the very foundations of the earth. And as missiles streak across Middle Eastern skies today, as ancient enemies awaken from their slumber, we must ask ourselves a question that echoes through eternity. Are we witnessing the fulfillment of the most terrifying prophecy ever written? Long before there was an Israel to attack, before Iran possessed a single missile, before the modern world even existed, an exiled priest named Ezekiel received a vision so profound, so specific, that it reads like tomorrow's headlines written in yesterday's ink. Picture this Hebrew captive by the rivers of Babylon, his eyes suddenly blazing with divine fire as the Spirit of the Almighty transported him across time itself. He saw armies moving like storm clouds across the land. He witnessed nations that didn't yet exist, forming alliances that defied human logic. And at the center of it all, he saw the mystery that has haunted scholars for millennia, the rise of Gog. The word of the Lord came to Ezekiel with the force of thunder. Set your face against Gog of the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Not poetry, not metaphor, a direct confrontation with a figure so significant that God himself would call him out by name across the centuries. But here's where the mystery deepens. Gog is not a nation. He is a man, a leader who would rise in the latter days with such power, such influence, that he could unite the most unlikely coalition in human history. Could he be alive today? Could he be watching the same headlines we are, preparing for his moment in the theater of prophecy? Ezekiel's vision reveals a military alliance that reads like a geopolitical nightmare. Persia, Magog, Gomer, Meshech, Tubal, Cush, and Put. To ancient ears, these were distant lands shrouded in mystery. To modern eyes, they form a perfect circle around Israel, like a noose tightening around the neck of history. Persia, undeniably Iran, acknowledged even by secular historians. But Ezekiel saw more than just one nation. He witnessed Magog, traced by scholars to the ancient Scythians who settled north of the Black Sea, regions that today encompass southern Russia and Central Asia. He saw Gomer linked to Eastern Europe, possibly Ukraine or Turkey, Cush and Put reaching deep into North Africa, Sudan and Libya. Imagine the prophet's amazement as he watched this impossible coalition form. Nations separated by thousands of miles, different languages, conflicting ideologies, yet somehow united by a single burning purpose: the complete destruction of Israel. But the mystery runs deeper still. How could Ezekiel have known that these specific regions would one day possess the military technology to threaten a nation that wouldn't exist for another 2,500 years? How could he have foreseen the exact geopolitical alignments we witness today? Today, as we watch Iranian forces spread across Syria like a plague, as we see Hezbollah amassing 150,000 rockets in Lebanon, as Russian military advisors coordinate with Iranian Revolutionary Guards, we're not just witnessing modern warfare. We're watching the ancient vision come alive. Iran has woven a web of proxy forces throughout the Middle East that would make Ezekiel's prophecy possible overnight. In Syria, thousands of Iranian troops and Revolutionary Guard units. In Lebanon, Hezbollah, Iran's most powerful proxy. In Iraq, dozens of Shiite militias. In Yemen, the Houthis launching drones toward Israeli territory. In Gaza, Hamas receiving funding, rockets and ideology from Tehran. The invasion Ezekiel described isn't coming from some distant future. It's already on Israel's doorstep, surrounding the Jewish state like a pack of wolves circling their prey in the wilderness. But here's where Ezekiel's prophecy transcends mere military analysis and enters the realm of the supernatural, because this war, this final confrontation, will not be decided by hypersonic missiles or laser-guided bombs. It will be settled by the hand of the Almighty Himself. "My fury will show in my face," declares the Lord. Picture that image burning in your mind. The Creator of galaxies, whose voice spoke light into existence, allowing His righteous anger to blaze like a cosmic wildfire over the mountains of Israel. The prophet describes 5 divine judgments that will fall like thunderclaps in rapid succession. A great earthquake that will shake every man on earth, mountains thrown down like toys in the hands of a child. Confusion spreading through enemy ranks until they turn their weapons on each other, pestilence and bloodshed consuming the invasion force. And finally, fire and hailstones from heaven, like Sodom and Gomorrah, broadcast live on every news channel in the world. Why such dramatic intervention? The answer echoes through eternity. "I will magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations. Then they shall know that I am the Lord." This war is not ultimately about territorial disputes or nuclear facilities. It's about the glory of God and His unbreakable covenant with His chosen people. It's about a moment when CNN, BBC, and every news network on earth will be forced to acknowledge that the God of Israel alone is sovereign over the nations. But Gog and Magog is not the only prophetic thread weaving through today's headlines. Ancient texts speak of multiple wars that could precede or parallel this final confrontation. Psalm 83 describes what scholars call the Inner Rin War, Israel's immediate neighbors attempting to wipe the Jewish state off the map. Gaza, Lebanon, Jordan, Syria, Iraq, the very nations already involved in today's conflicts. Could this regional war create the temporary peace that Ezekiel says Israel will enjoy before Gog's massive coalition strikes? Then there's the prophecy of Damascus in Isaiah 17. "Behold, Damascus will cease from being a city, and it will be a ruinous heap." The oldest continuously inhabited city on earth has never been completely destroyed. Until now. With Iranian forces stationed in and around Damascus, with Israeli strikes targeting weapon stockpiles throughout Syria, this ancient prophecy could be fulfilled in a single night. And in Revelation 16, we read of the Euphrates River drying up to make way for the kings of the East. Search news reports today. The mighty Euphrates is shrinking to a shadow of its former self, while Iran strengthens military alliances with both Russia and China. The convergence is undeniable, the signs are multiplying, the stage is set. As we stand at this crossroads of prophecy and history, how, then, shall we live? Not in fear, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and sound mind. The one who wrote the end of the story also holds us in His hands. We are called to prayer, to intercession for the nations. Pray for Israel, that eyes would be opened to recognize their true Messiah. But pray also for Iran, where thousands are coming to Christ through supernatural dreams and visions, even in the midst of conflict. God does not hate the people of any nation. He loves them and calls them to Himself. And we must be ready. If these are indeed the latter days, if prophecy is unfolding before our eyes, then the next sound to break the silence of the sky could be the voice of the bridegroom calling his church home. So we return to where we began, standing at the intersection of ancient prophecy and modern reality, watching missiles streak across Middle Eastern skies while holding in our hands a book that seems to narrate tomorrow's news. Are we witnessing the beginning of the end? Is Gog already alive, already planning, already moving the pieces into position? The prophet Ezekiel saw this day 26 centuries ago, and his words burn with the fire of divine certainty. The nations are aligning, the coalitions are forming. The stage is set for the most dramatic intervention in human history since the parting of the Red Sea. Whether this war escalates into Ezekiel's final vision or serves as a rehearsal for an even greater conflict yet to come, one thing remains eternally certain. The God who spoke these prophecies into existence will fulfill every word, every jot, every tittle. The question that echoes through eternity is not whether these prophecies will come to pass, but whether we will be ready when they do. Lift up your heads, for your redemption draws near. The King is coming, not as a baby in a manger, but as a conquering king with eyes like fire and a crown upon his head. Even so, come, Lord Jesus.